We are finally going to take a look at the new HyperX Cloud 3 gaming headset. Now, I apologize for being late to this video, but I think a lot of you can relate on why I am late to this. Number one, and most importantly, I wanted to tone down my excitement because this isn't just a gaming headset we're looking at here. This is a tried and true, just the name HyperX Cloud coming off the line of the HyperX Cloud 2, one of the best rated gaming headsets out there by many gamers, myself included. Is this just a marketing scheme using that popular name and slapping a 3 on the end of it here? I wanted to tone down my excitement so I didn't get in front of here and just get all giddy. I wanted to really test it against each other as far as, number one, is it worth the upgrade? Or, again, is it just a marketing scheme here? But I also wanted to test it across all gaming platforms. 3.5 USB and multiple game genres right there as far as story, FPS, race, and so on and so forth. I really wanted to pick this headset apart before I just got giddy in front of the camera. And that's exactly what I'm going to deliver here for you today. A deep dive into the Cloud 3s, but also a comprehensive, detailed comparison to the Cloud 2s. Is it worth that upgrade, or are they just using that popular name and slapping it on a box here? So first off, let's take a look at what you get in your box. And of course, you're gonna get your headset. And as you see, I went with the all black version here. It does come with the black and red version, which is just the forks that are red this time, not the stitching like the old ones. And I went with the black version because I just feel like it's a color scheme here that a lot more people can get down with, a lot more neutral, even though you all know Techne, I love my black and red. But again, I figured this is something you guys would like to see. Now we have our detachable microphone, our USB-C to our audio control box up here that goes 3.5, which are 3.5 cable over here, that which is always attached to the headset. And then you have your A to C adapter. So let's go and talk about comfort. And I'm going to leave the HyperX Cloud 2s out here because there's going to be a lot of comparisons I'm going to talk about within this. But I want to start off with slapping them on a scale. And I'm going to leave the 3.5 cable on there because it's always attached on the headset. And we're getting right at 300 grams. Now let's go on and get the HyperX Cloud 2s over here with our 3.5, slap them on there, and we're getting right at 300 grams as well. And in the hand, you really can't tell the difference. They feel a spitting image the exact same. Now, something that is slightly different here are these ear pads. Let's go and take a look at the length of the new HyperX Cloud 3s, then the width over here, and then the depth. Very nice big pads, fully pleather, top, bottom, inside, a little bit of padding inside there, but I never had any issues with my ears touching the drivers inside there. Now when we go over to the HyperX Cloud 2s, look at the size here. They are a pinch smaller. Now these have been used significantly more than the new HyperX Cloud 2s I have here. But again, you can see they are a little bit smaller. The main thing is both of these ear pads are fully pleather, top, bottom, and inside. The new ones, they got these little perforated holes in there. But again, that's not letting anything really breathe. You're still gonna get spicy ears. You all know my recommendation is Wicked cushions. And yes, the original universal ear pads that work with the HyperX Cloud 2s, they work right on these. So if you already got a set, you're good to go. Or if you don't, again, I highly recommend you pick up a pair of these because it transforms this headset 10 times better. Now, as far as adjustability on a new HyperX Cloud 3 is pretty standard. You got your clicky arms right on the side here. Now this gets quite large actually, and the clamping force is more or less a light to medium. It's not pinching you or anything like that, but your adjustment right here gets pretty small. So if you got a small head, I think it's gonna suit you good. And then also if you got a big head, I think it's gonna suit a lot of head shapes there. But again, you do got that standard adjustment, and then your ear cups go in and out. Now, as far as swivel, still none, which is an absolute shame. You all know swivel is something I absolutely love, but I feel like they increased it just a little bit. The movement, right? You don't got that swivel, but you got that slight movement, and I feel like they increased it here. And if the camera can pick it up inside that bracket, which I doubt it can, maybe right there you can see it inside. You can actually see where it curves a little bit right there to let it move. Let that arm move within this bracket. On the originals, this is one thing I really can't stand, is you have such minimal movement. You see it adjusting right there, but even when you put it on, it kind of clamps right back into that middle position there, creating that pressure point, again, for me, up at the front and leaving that gap at the back. But when I take the new Cloud 3s and put them on, with that mild adjustment, it fits a lot better than the Cloud 2s. It's not perfect. It's not great by any means. Would I even say it's stinking cozy? It's cozy. It's definitely comfy. Whenever I put them on and I gamed, I never caught myself saying, ouch, yo, let me take these off. You know, they weren't annoying. They're lightweight. I do still feel them kind of forcing themselves to the front. They need swivel. They really do. We saw it in the new Logitech. Logitech finally understood, yo, swivel's important. So they did it on their new G Pro X2s compared to the original G Pros. High five, Logitech. HyperX, you know we need the swivel. Why didn't you do it? It's an absolute shame. But the new ones do feel a little bit more comfy to me than the Cloud 2s. But unfortunately, I just can't give them the stinking cozy pass. But again, they're not uncomfortable by any means. Now let's go and talk about the build. And looking at them just like this, you can see some significant differences. Number one, up on the headband, again, we don't have that stitching. More cosmetic than anything, but that stitching is inside rather than outside there. So it's gonna prevent any of that wear if again, it's sliding up and down on your desk and stuff like that. Going right down here to the wires. This is something I really like. It's mild, but something I like. So this wire right here is going from your ear cup to the outside of that hinge right here. Automatic snag point, right? So now they went from the ear cup inside a little bit more and then on the inside of the hinge. Absolutely love it now. Yeah, potential snags for sure, but it's tucked up on the inside right there. Kind of a little safety measure, and you still get that aesthetic that they're shooting for right there, but I really like that improvement. But more importantly, coming into these hinges, I love what they did here. Kind of like what we've seen on the HyperX Cloud 2 wireless a little bit here, but now what they did is they rolled that hinge over. So you can see it goes into the ear cup, it rolls over that metal, comes flat, and then comes all the way around rather than it just being a sharp point out there like we saw in the Cloud 2s. So whenever you set these down, it's going down on a nice flat surface rather than a sharp surface going in that would ding your desk or something. Again, looking at the Cloud 2s, you got those plastic hinges out there, which constantly setting them down over time. It's plastic. Over time, it's just going to loosen up and eventually crack and break. I love this metal point right here. You don't have any pressure points. You don't have any hinges that's going to break. Really like what they did here. But now, of course, we are still going from forks into plastic ear cups and then up to our plastic point up top there going into the headband. But even though we got that plastic and that metal, still very lightweight, and I don't get worried one bit about this headset. I can twist it up, bend it, and it is perfectly fine. I don't get worried at all. And just to reinforce to you guys why I do this with my headsets and twist them up and stuff, no, I do not expect any of you to do that with your headset. But me, as a reviewer, I'm using this headset for a short period of time. I want to stretch mine out, and if it breaks right here, I want to let you know, hey, that's a weak point, because over 6 months or a year of time, you constantly taking it, putting it on, taking it off, so on and so forth, that's gonna wear. And I would rather break my product than you purchasing this product with your hard-earned money and then it breaking on you. So again, that's why I do this, but I don't think you gotta worry about it. This is very solid. Now let's go and talk about features and functions here. When we take a look at the HyperX Cloud 3s, there are a few differences on this headset compared to the old Cloud 2s. Number one being we finally have a volume wheel on the headset. Right on it here, top set at the highest, bottoms down to lowest. Nice tension in there too to give it that nice premium feel. Back left ear cup, you got your microphone mute button, which you also get a light indicator on the microphone, which I'll show you here shortly in the mic test. You got your 3.5 cable, which is attached. And it's weird because you can see mine moves around significantly in there so much where I thought it was supposed to be detachable. So hopefully that doesn't wear over time, but it's, again, really messed with me feeling like it's supposed to be able to be removed. There's so much movement in it. Again, up here is your microphone port. So that little difference right there may seem minor, right? The volume wheel and the mute function right on the headset. Well, no, it's honestly something that's big and something someone like me truly appreciates being able to adjust it there. On the originals, you had this box, right? That's where you adjusted it, and that was only controllable via USB, which is a real stinker there, because on the headset alone, well, you got nothing. Now, on the new Cloud 3s, you do have this audio box here, which you can use Ingenuity software now, create custom EQs and so forth, which we'll talk about in the sound, activate DTS and stuff like that. You kind of got some pros and cons, right, where you can control and adjust everything right on this box here on PC. Over here, you got the basic controls on the headset, which is what I would prefer because I don't really tweak with my sound much, you know. But if you're on PC, you can actually adjust this a little bit further, talking about custom EQs. So pros and cons either way, but I do got to give the HyperX Cloud 3s the pro or the win right here in the features and functions department for sure. Now let's go and get this microphone tested. And I'm excited for this because they seriously beefed up this microphone on a HyperX Cloud 3s. But I can tell you on my graph, it is picking up big time. It really is. So let's see if I pull it away from my mouth a little bit. It's starting to balance out a little bit right there. We're getting really that razor control control where you pull it out, it gets really low. You pull it closer, it gets much higher. I don't think we're really getting that right here. It seems like we're bouncing out a little bit. Maybe kind of pinpoint it where you want right there. Again, you do have that mute button on the back, and you get that little light indicator. I'm going to hit it right here. So I'm not sure if you saw that little light that lit up whenever I muted it. It is so small. It's just a little tiny faint light underneath the plastic that I honestly barely ever see. I wish it was more vibrant or was on top of the microphone. So bam, I could see, hey, it is muted. So I love the light feature. Y'all know it's a function I love in headsets, but again, it's so minute on this that you almost can't even see it. But anyways, all in all, this is the microphone on a HyperX Cloud 3s. Let's go on and get a test on the Cloud 2s and see if it is an improvement here. Now you're hearing a microphone from the HyperX Cloud 2s. About the same distance I was testing the Cloud 3s from, exact same volume. You all know I don't tweak any of my microphone tests, even when I edit it. This is straight plugged and played, and that's how you're going to hear it. I don't like adjusting anything because we got to test that core microphone first and see how it sounds, and that's exactly what you're hearing here. Now, again, as I'm testing these two headsets and talking about the microphone, it just boggles me and blows my mind that I'm over here praising this having a volume wheel and a mic mute button, you know. When on the Cloud 2s, you don't have that. You got to go into the USB and use this control box here. So praising this is just weird, you know what I mean? It's a great upgrade, but you're going to find a mic mute and a volume wheel on down to a $20 headset, you know. Now the Cloud 2s are definitely old. They've been around for a while, but it's I don't know. It's hard for me to even say, yo, that's a praise, you know what I mean? But again, it's nice that it has it. It's weird that these don't have it. But all in all, as far as mic sound and mic test, these are the differences of the mic to mic. All right, so microphone test is in the books. And let me be straight with you here. I had to give the Cloud 2s multiple tries, probably about 3 different tests to make sure I got the same result over and over. And I constantly got a slight hum in the background. I'm not sure if you guys can be able to hear it whenever I edit it, but when I actually listen to it, it's a very mild hum in the background. And as far as one to the other, in my opinion, the Cloud 3 definitely takes the win. It's just a very natural, definitely more low tone type of broadcasty feel. Over here, it's almost just more like a cell phone. Neither of them are bad or neither of them are amazing or great. But yeah, no doubt the Cloud 3s definitely take the win here. But that's not saying the Cloud 2 microphone is bad by any means. I think they both get a pass. But again, they are slight differences. All right, so you all ready for my ever so long-winded segment being sound? And you all know when I talk sound, I like to hit that relatable level with you guys. Gamer to gamer, right? Nerd to nerd, just sitting down. How are these sounding in multiple situations? Talking a story game, FPS game, a racing game, multiple platforms, PS5, Series X, Nintendo Switch, PC, USB 3.5, also plugged in an amp. I'm going to cover all that here. But number one, talking about the headsets, both of these are using 53mm drivers. The Cloud 2s have a frequency range of 10 to 23,000. The Cloud 3s have a frequency range of 10 to 21,000. Is that significantly different? Those are numbers in numbers, so who really cares? What I'm going to talk about is using them. And they were significantly different, whether I'm running USB or 3.5. So let me start with the core sound of the Cloud 3s here, right? When I'm using these, you're definitely getting a clear sound. It wasn't muddy, it wasn't rumbly, it wasn't overdone in the highs, it wasn't overdone in the bass. It's just kind of right here doing what a headset or some headphones would do. That's what it's giving you. Nothing oohing or on here or nothing exciting and punchy down there. You know, it really wasn't. But it did everything right. If I was playing a story game, God of War on a PS5, I wanted to keep playing. I never caught myself saying, oh man, that dialogue is horrible. Or, oh man, that sound of that battle is just sounding cheesy. Same thing in a racing game. It still sounded really good and, again, full. Not excessively immersive. Right? Not screeching the highs if you're playing an FPS game or something like that. You still got that detail of the environment and all that. You know, if you're playing a FPS game or something, you still got all that. Now, these 53mm drivers on the Cloud 3s, they are angled, so they come in. So that sound's being directed you a little bit more. But again, even though it's directed at you more and you're still getting all that detail, nothing is oohing or on me. Nothing's exciting me, right? You're like, oh, whoa, where are we going here, you know? And I want to kind of come over to the Cloud 2s. This is an exciting headset. It always has been. That's what's kept it as a top rated headset. And in my test going from one to the other, I always caught myself every single time, every single platform, every single game genre wanting to go to the Cloud 2s for the sound. It had that extra oomph of the sound. That low end was just a little bit more impactful. The highs really worked out with the low ends, you know? It's not like the low end overtook anything. That's what made the Cloud 2 so good, is it just did the sound right. Nothing was excessive, but you still got that excitement. It was just brought up a little bit. Now, yes, on the Cloud 3s, you can dive into Ingenuity now and dabble with an EQ. But no matter what I did, I got in there, really played around with my smiley curve, pulling out a little bit more bass, a little bit more highs, trying to round it out, trying to make it sound like the Cloud 2s. It never would. It just wouldn't. It sounded boring compared to the Cloud 2s. All right, so I probably just closed the door on this review, right? But I still want you to stick with me. And I want to reiterate on what I just stated, saying these sound boring compared to these. They do. No joke, hands down, I always wanted the Cloud 2s on my head over the Cloud 3s. That is not saying these sounded bad. They're more neutral, flat, just kind of there, right? Even, again, adjusted an EQ. You could not make these sound like these. And that was a big disappointment. And talking about them being just there, it puts me in a perfect spot to close out this video, right? You're talking $100 for this headset. Cloud 2s, MSRP, also $100, but now with the new ones coming out, you can find these all day long for roughly around $70 to $80. Come some holiday times, you're gonna find these for a lot cheaper. Would I recommend you buying these over these? No. Get the Cloud 2s, hands down. I really would. Would I tell you to upgrade from the Cloud 2s to the Cloud 3? No, I wouldn't. Stick with your Cloud 2s, and if you love them that much, heck, just buy another pair, or maybe go with that new Logitech G Pro X2, the wireless one, if you want to upgrade with something similar to this with a little bit more juice, a little more oomph, and a little more excitement. It's sad, and again, this is what took me a little while, because I really wanted to be able to pick it apart. I'm like, man, what am I missing here? Because this is an icon. This isn't just a gaming headset, and it not hitting home for me, not really peaking up to this was hard. I wanted to make sure, I got to get this right because, I don't want to catch slack out there. You know what I mean? And we're talking again about an icon. It's not that the Cloud 3s are bad, but they are not as good as the Cloud 2s. Again, it just doesn't do it for me. I say stick with your Cloud 2s. But anyways, thank you so much for coming by this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope I was able to help you out. If you got any other questions, ask right down below. Definitely glad to talk shop right there. And again, I hope I was able to kind of wrap this up, relatable consumer gamer view for you guys, and really kind of just give you that honest take, because this was a tough one. It really was tough. I wanted to love this, but I just couldn't find it. I had to keep picking it apart. So again, I hope I was able to help you out. If I was, hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope I catch you in the next one. Bye now.